As someone who was born and bred in Nairobi, as some will say, I went to school in Nairobi, I grew up in Nairobi. As someone who has done all that thing, it was not an easy decision to actually move away from a big city to a small city. But I knew some things had to change for me to be able to change the trajectory of my financial life. So that was the main reason. So Nairobi at some point was not working for me, and I will tell you why. One is the environment. It got to a place where the quality of the environment, like you see so many flats coming up, even if you live in a place where you have a standalone house, the next neighbor is putting on a very huge flat, and that means noise that comes with the building, and also the air pollution of them digging the foundation, building in that area. So it became quite tiring for me in terms of environment. So something else that really was a factor of me moving out of Nairobi was how the weekends and lifestyle look like. Okay, so you find in most cases every Saturday or Sunday, when you're not going to work, you are forced to, if you're forced to leave your house, you end up spending a lot of money. Okay, and even if you're going out, you're either going to a park, you're either going to a mall, you're either going for a coffee or lunch. So it meant every other weekend you're either spending money to buy junk food, or you're either spending a lot of money every other weekend just for you to be able to experience something outside your home. Okay, so every time you leave the house, 10,000, 5,000, 2,000 is gone. So for me, I kept looking at, that's a lot of money that I have to spend every weekend, because you see, where you're staying, there's not so much you can do. And if you've been working the whole week, or you have been working in the house or outside the house, you just want to go somewhere and relax, and that meant spending money. Okay. The other big factor, guys, when I looked at my expenses, I am making money, but I'm also spending equal amount of money. The difference is very small. Okay, so if you look at Nairobi in terms of rent, in terms of electricity, in terms of Wi-Fi, in terms of garbage, you're paying security, you're paying all these things. So when I factor all those things, I saw the expenses were quite high. Okay, so it's not like I'm not working, but at the same time I'm met by all these expenses. So it's like you cancel out your income versus your expense. Every other month you either are spending equal amount, you're either spending close to your income, or you're actually even exceeding your income. So you're always on deficit. Okay, so when I looked at, especially something that really turned me off, I don't know if you guys have experienced that, where I was living, our water bill was 250 per unit. Imagine, and you're not even manufacturing anything in that house. Okay, so I looked at all my expenses and I was like, something has to really change. The whole year you come to a realization that the only thing you've been able to do is just live or sustain yourself throughout the year. Is it a bad thing? It's not a bad thing, especially with this current economic environment, to actually be able to stay afloat and to be able to pay your expenses, or to be able to pay to stay afloat in terms of not going into debt, to just live, is such a blessing to have. Okay, but sometimes you come to a point where you realize, I cannot see anything. I'm not doing anything apart from paying someone's paying rent and doing school fees. Okay, so another thing that I also came was a major factor, is when I was looking for my daughter's school, a very good private school, an average private school for a child who is in grade 1 is going between 45,000 to 65,000. That's a very good private school if you want your child to go to such school. Okay, so I was looking at, apart from the normal expenses, you again add on these other expenses, you're going to be stuck in this rat race for a very long time. You make more money, but this money that you're making is going into another thing. Okay, so you keep running to make more income, on it for it to be sucked by the expenses that you are accruing every month or every year. Okay, so that was a major factor. My major turning point, or my major realization was, Julia, you're in your 40s. Okay, I turned 40 September last year. Okay, so I turned 40, and then I realized, how long are you going to do this? Especially as someone who is a one household income, and there's no one who is helping you supplement this income. Yeah, and no one is coming to get you out of this rat race. You have to come to a realization, you have to make really difficult decisions, and that those decisions include sitting down with your budget and seeing, I am making this much. If nothing changes, what can I do with what I'm making in the next coming year or the next coming 2 years, and nothing has change in terms of your income? Are you still going to wait until your income changes for you to change your life? That was my big question. That for me was a very huge factor. I'm like, you have to wake up, you have to make very difficult decisions to get yourself out of this situation. If you want to start building your house, you cannot continue living the way you are living. Something has to give. You make more money, but at the same time, you have to really work on your expenses so that you can be able to meet this set goal or this thing that you want to do, or unless you're going to be stuck and you're going to complain. And to whom, guys? Who am I going to complain that I'm not making enough money? Who am I going to complain that I'm going to wait until I make like this amount of money for me to be able to achieve anything? So that was for me a big turning point. So when I looked at my income, I looked at the trajectory of how the business environment is going, and I decided that some things had to change. Income can increase anytime, guys. That is a fact. You can sometimes the business environment is up and down. So sometimes it's down, sometimes it's up. But you have to set up a budget in a way that regardless of how the business goes, you can meet your normal expenses and still be able to do something. Okay? So when I did that, when I moved, my decision was cut your expenses into half. Make sure whatever happens, your expenses come, everything has to go into half. School fees, rent, electricity, everything has to come. You have to cut your expenses into half for you to be able to meet the thing that you want to do. Okay? Probably if you're considering doing moving out of Nairobi just for you to have a financial breathing room, for you to be able to do something else apart from what you've been doing, I want to also talk about the reality after moving, the things that I figured out once I moved out of Nairobi. And as I've said initially, as someone who was born and raised in Nairobi, you can imagine it was a big shocker. So number one, when I immediately moved, the biggest one was how quiet this place is. Like, I'm shooting this video during the day, and I'm telling you, you cannot even hear kids playing. Like, you rarely hear kids playing outside. I don't know why. But you see where I was living, every now and then, if you hear my previous video, especially during holiday, there was a lot of noise on the background. Okay, so this place is very quiet from Monday to Sunday. Like, there's no time that you feel like, oh, so today is Saturday, kids are at home. Okay, none of that. So for me, that was a big shock to come from a place that is noisy. You can hear people playing music, you can hear people talking, you can hear kids playing on the background, and then to come to an environment where you hardly hear anything apart from the chicken. Apart from the chicken, guys. Okay, also something else that probably you should consider, and something that I figured out for myself, it felt very strange accessing some certain things. Some things were limited. Like, you know the way you can walk into Carrefour and you find everything you want at the same time. Like, if you go shopping in whatever mall and you walk into Carrefour, or you walk into Naivas, or you walk in Quickmart, you find everything you wanted under one roof. So that is one thing that you will not probably have access to here, because they have supermarket but are very small supermarkets. Like, also something that was a shocker for me is, you know, the things that you anticipate or you expect to be just a norm, that's something that you've been conditioned to be normal, here is not normal. Let me give you an example. When you go to the salon here, you expect them to have shampoo and conditioner and whatever when they are washing your hair, which is not the case. You either have to prepare, come with your shampoo, come with your conditioner, because either they're not using the shampoo of the quality that you like, or they don't have conditioner when they are washing your hair. So you have to prepare and adjust to such things. You have to adjust to such things that you normally think are just normal for you to just go into the salon and you know they're gonna wash your hair, condition your hair, and blow dry or do whatever they need to do. So that's something that you have to be well prepared. That there are things that you can access in Nairobi that are not going to be easily accessible in small town or outside Nairobi. Okay. Something else that caught me completely off guard was the weather here, guys. Before I decided to settle here, I had come several times, but I did not anticipate how cold at night this place can be. yeah, because I never stayed here more than a day. So now I'm going to talk about the good side of moving. When you move outside Nairobi to a small town, one of the things that is going to improve is the financial pressure, guys. I'm telling you, you don't understand how much pressure you are under when you're in Nairobi and you're in this turmoil of moving, doing, going, paying, doing this and doing that, until you come to a place where it's very quiet and you have to relearn how to not move with the same speed that you're used to. Okay, so there's less pressure here, because even if you're to live with a 2,000 in your pocket, where are you going? Literally, like, where are you going? Not unless you're gonna go do what. So you basically find out that you don't need much, don't need a lot of money to be able to exist in a small town. I don't know if it makes sense. There's less to spend on. There's less to, so now even if me moving out of Nairobi means I left my family, my friends back in Nairobi. So it's very hard for me to say I'm going out. Where? I'm going out to spend what? So there's less pressure when you move out of Nairobi, because you see now you're not close to your friends, you're not close to what you're used to do. Like if every weekend you have to go out, or every other weekend you meet up for coffee, you meet up for lunch. So you don't have that leisure, because it means you have to plan yourself to be able to go to Nairobi, do all those things. And if I'm going back to Nairobi, you're going to do something, like you're going to do business and come back. So you basically don't have time to spend money when you're in a small town. Will I do the same? Will I make the same decision again? Definitely. I think it has been a game changer for me financially. And the reason why I'm choosing financial is because on this channel we talk about money. There are so many other factors that can play into you moving to a small town, but for me, because we are talking about the financial aspect, it has really done a number. Okay, so these are some of the things, like probably I would advise someone who is considering moving out of Nairobi. Let me sip my lemon tea. So these are some of the things I can advise someone who is considering moving out of Nairobi. Don't just move blindly. Like if, for example, you've identified a town you want to move to, don't just move because you see people are moving to Kajiado, they are moving to Loitokto, they are moving to I don't know where. Just don't move blindly. What I will suggest personally is, if you can pick a few days in a month to just go rent an Airbnb, stay there for 2 or 3 days. When you're there, walk around, observe what is happening. Look at the business around, look at the schools around, look at the houses, how much do they cost, what do they ask for deposit or not, do you pay for water, is the internet available in the areas that you want to move. Okay, because you can do a haste move and then go realize, I work at home but I cannot access internet anywhere, not unless I actually buy the portable internet. I don't know if it makes sense. Okay, or this and this is not, or I can't find any good school for my kids in the town that I want to relocate to. So do your homework. Okay, also make sure that you check out the schools around you. How much do they pay? Does it make sense for you to move out of Nairobi only to come to a town where the school fees is very expensive, or it does not meet up to the standard of your child or the things that you foresee for your kids? Okay, so those are some of the things that I will advise. Also, test, come different months, come when it's very hot. You know, certain months are very hot in a particular town, go that time. You know, this month is very cold in Nairobi, probably in even that place probably it's cold. Just go stay for 2 or 3 days, observe the climate changes. Go when it's rainy, see, am I able to access to go to town when it's raining? How is the accessibility in terms of just maneuvering your day-to-day life? Is that place, how is the drainage in that place when it rains? Okay, because I've seen so many people who move to Juja Farm who have a very difficult time when it comes to rainy season. That is an example. Go there a weekend, stay there 2 or 3 days, go there Friday, Saturday and Sunday, come back. You can always do this, because you have to commit to this move. You do not want to make this expensive move only to go and realize I should have done my homework much better. So this is my final take. Is the moving worth it? Definitely. If you're prepared for the change. Was it challenging initially? Yes, it was, because how do I adjust all this part of my life at the same time, because now you're moving away from your family, you're moving away from your friends, you're moving away from the environment that you're used to, you're moving away from the availability of certain things that are easily accessible in Nairobi but are not accessible here. But also there's also an advantage, like for example here you can literally get milk from the farm. Like you can get milk from the farm and they let you pay at the end of the month. You can take as much milk and then pay at the end of the month. You can talk to the farmers and they can give you their produce directly from the farm, so you don't have to go to the there's a market here, but you can always talk to the farmers and you buy from the market or from their own shamba. So that's another thing. Something else that I want to add here is the quality of food. Like in terms of, one of the things that shocked me a lot was the quality of meat. There's a time I got to a point where I stopped eating meat in Nairobi, because every time you boil the meat, there's a lot of foam coming out, and it had a very funny smell. So you have to put garlic, you have to put ginger for you to just be able to boil that meat comfortably in the house. Okay, so something I realized, I boil meat here, I boil it less than 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, and it does not remove the foam. That's something else I was shocked. So it means there's something that you're going to forego for you to achieve this thing. This is what I'm going to say, guys. There are decisions that you have to make that have to be personal to you. No one can force you to do what you need to do. And if you decide to do something, there are things that you have to forego, opportunity cost that you have to forego for you to achieve what you want to achieve. I could have said comfortably probably in Nairobi, but I will not be able to probably achieve the goal of building my house if I continue living the way I was living. So I have to choose which struggle is best for me. If I choose that I'm okay with these things not being in my life, that I'm okay not experiencing these experiences that I was used to, or I'm okay foregoing this to be able to get this, that has to be a choice that you have to make on your own. Okay, because no one can come and force you to do something that you don't want to do. We all have free will. But I will say this as I end this video. Take a leap and experience a different town if you can, or a different city. Because what is the worst thing that can happen? If I wake up today and decide we pack our things, we go back to Nairobi. Again, that's a free will on you. If you're able to do that, especially if you're not tied down by one income, and even if you decide to change a job, guys, this is something I keep saying. You are the person who, for example, if you went to an organization and you started from being a receptionist, you climbed your way to the management position, you can do that over and over in any other organization, because it's you who did that. Nobody did it for you. So the ability for you to start again, the ability for you to choose a different city and recreate a different new life, it's possible over and over and over again if you believe that it's within you to do that. To create the same business that you had in wherever you are living in Nairobi and replicate it in Kericho. Because it's you. You don't understand. It's not outside. It's not coming from an outside. It's coming from within you. So I tell people, if you can, and this might sound cliche, if you can recreate your life, start your life all over again in a different city. And the worst that can happen is for you to decide this city does not favor me, or this environment does not favor me. I've stayed here for 1-2 years. I can't see myself staying here because of 1 or 2 reasons. I'm packing my bags, going back to where I came from. Is anyone going to ask you? No, because you have the will and the freedom to do that. Okay, take the leap of faith if you can. Take the leap of faith and see God work through you when you decide to be open to experience a different life apart from what you have experienced all your life. If you told me I will ever leave Nairobi, go to another city, I would have told you it's a lie. Why will I do that? Why will I do that? Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Bye.